everyone, it's Shelly. Welcome back to my channel. I know that I haven't posted a video in a couple of weeks and I'm trying to catch up on that now. The reason for that really is because I have been kind of going back into the office in the past few weeks, and that's been an interesting experience for me. Kind of getting back into the groove of waking up, driving somewhere, and being somewhere all day has been a bit challenging for me. Before we get more into this video, I am using natural light to record my video today, so I do apologize if the sun kind of goes in and out a little bit. It's a pretty clear day, but sometimes some clouds can cover the sunlight for me, so just wanted to explain that. So as I've mentioned in some previous videos, if you've been following along, I have been kind of going through this like career change phase in my life where I changed jobs last year, and in the past few months I've decided that there's a lot of other stuff that I want to be working on for myself as far as like social media and creating content. So that is an area that I wanted to touch on today, how I'm planning to stay organized and sort of get myself situated so I can move forward and kind of set myself up for success. Some of the tools that I've purchased recently, like planners and stuff, that I plan to be using to help me on this journey. But also in the past, I have been asked in the workplace by like coworkers and stuff like that, not in the past couple of years, but prior to working from home when we were all kind of working together, I have been asked by coworkers like how I take notes and stay organized when I'm at work. So those are just some of the tips that I wanted to share with you guys today in case you are also transitioning back into the workplace or needing to find a new way to organize yourself with keeping notes on like to-do lists versus notes for reference. I thought it might be helpful to share some of the things that I do and what has worked for me, and hopefully it helps you guys as well. So first I'm gonna get started with how I take notes in the workplace, because that's probably most applicable to you guys, and it definitely applies to me today. But lately I have actually been using a notebook just like this. I'll actually leave a link to it down below if you guys are interested. This company, Emerging Green, this particular company has sustainability in mind as they're creating their notebooks, and they had gifted me a set of 3 of these notebooks, and I've actually been using them every single day at work. This is a brand new one that I haven't started using yet. Obviously I can't show you guys a notebook that I have actually been using for work because it has a lot of notes and stuff in there, but it's just a spiral lined notebook just like this, and I've been taking lists and like notes in here. So kind of getting into how I take notes when I'm at work, and my work has changed over the years. So previously I was someone who was always on the phone when I was at work, needing to take down numbers and maybe some notes to call people back with answers about things, and that's something that I probably would have used a notebook like this for. I have also used like a composition notebook or a notebook like this as well. If you guys watch my video about how I plan for interviews, I did mention that I like to use notebooks like this when I'm writing out all my notes before I go in to a job interview. But I do like to keep one notebook just of things that I need to do, people that I need to call back, and just quick notes like that, where I just kind of check things off as I go about my day, like as I'm finishing things. So right now my work doesn't involve me to answer the phone or talk on the phone as much as I used to, where I needed to call somebody back with more information. And so like writing down a name, a phone number, and like some brief details isn't something that's in my day-to-day anymore. So really what I'm using this for is more like task-based or project-based type notes, which is what my job really involves today. So I have been using this as a to-do list kind of style, where I basically will write like the number 1, what's the first task I need to do, maybe like some additional details about that, and then so on, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I have some additional notes that I'll write on here as well, but it's all basically related to the tasks that are going on. One of the reasons why I wanted to share with you guys about how I take notes at work is because currently and previously at other jobs, I have gone to a lot of other like seminars and workshops, or done like internal committees within an organization and things like that. And so someone I worked with saw that I was like switching out notebooks and things and asked me like, why do I do that? And so basically from that, we have the notebook for like daily things. I would have a second notebook, and usually I do use like this kind of size for that, which is I don't know exactly how big this is, but it's kind of like a 8.5 by 11 sort of size. I would use one notebook just for any kind of notes or something that I would want to refer back to. So if I'm taking a class, I'm going to a seminar about a particular topic, I like to keep all of those notes in one notebook in case I have to refer back. So I know it's always in the same place versus combining it with my daily tasks. Because after my daily tasks are done, I probably want to get rid of this thing and shred it, right? Like I don't need it anymore. I might have like some sensitive information in there, so I might opt to shred some pages within the notebook like this, but I don't want to have to transfer my notes if I use this also for a seminar into something else or tear them out. So I just keep those two things separate. So one for every day, another for like learning, seminars, notes, and anything I might need to refer to. In the past, I've only been on like one other sort of project or committee where I had a separate notebook just to take, like this as well, just to take notes on that particular topic. So I wouldn't be able to really advise, and I think like I'm not quite sure what I would do if I had like numerous other committees that I was a part of, or you know, like 5 or something like that. I know that these days a lot of people opt to take notes like on their computer or their laptop, finding it a little bit more convenient to, one, save on paper, which I totally get and I totally agree with, but two, just to kind of keep it all in one place, and it's easier to just like carry your laptop around with you everywhere. So that's something that I do as well. The companies that I've worked for do use like Microsoft programs, and OneNote is one of the options within that. And so that is something that I have done, but you know, really keeping in mind and being mindful about like where I want to put my notes. I, at some point, you know, moved to putting all of project-based notes into OneNote, keeping still like an everyday to-do list kind of notebook separately. But I do realize that sometimes it is hard to take a laptop to seminars or conferences that are all day, just in case your battery runs out. I think nowadays, you know, organizations that are putting on these events are a little bit more mindful of like needing to charge your battery and stuff like that. So I think there are some options there, but in the past that wasn't really something that was, you know, very popular to do. And another reason why I keep notes from seminars and workshops in another type of notebook is because I can take this from job to job over the years, if that makes sense. And it can all like kind of stay in one place. So that's one of the reasons why I keep it separate, because sometimes the other to-do like daily kind of notebook, I feel like I would feel a little bit confused about taking the to-do list slash, you know, daily life notebook from job to job with me. But if that's something that works for you guys, then go ahead and do it. All right, so moving into the more like personal or I don't know, business, entrepreneur, side hustle kind of notes. I do have a bullet journal, and I've been using this one from Archer and Olive. It has some super thick sheets of paper, and I have really been liking this notebook so far. Something that I notice as I am taking notes for myself with building my brand, building my business, thinking about other things that I want to implement, this like medium size journal, the pages seem too small for me for some reason. So I did decide to get the medium-sized Passion Planner journal. So for size reference, here is the difference. It's quite a bit taller and a little bit wider, and I felt like this would just help me feel like I could get more down on one sheet of paper than this has been. Don't get me wrong, this is still a really great notebook, and I definitely will use it until it's done. So I'm maybe like about a third through this notebook. I'll continue to use it until it's done and then switch over to this. But in the spirit of passion planners, I did actually pick up the Passion Planner. This is their undated notebook, and this is a style, I will put it on the screen and leave a link below, where all of the calendar, the monthly calendars are up at the front, and then all of the weekly ones are after that. I think this is one of the 2 layouts that Passion Planner offers, and the other one is kind of like month, week, and it kind of goes on. So it gives you like, you know, 4 weeks in a month kind of amount of pages. So this is actually the second time that I have purchased the Passion Planner. The first time I got it was actually a few years ago, and it had been like quite a gap between me having a planner. I definitely had a planner like in high school and pretty sure college for me to write down like notes and assignments and like when I had exams and all that kind of stuff. But after school is done, I didn't really feel like I needed a planner because I was going to work every single day, Monday through Friday at the same time. And for me to write it down like that, I felt like was a little bit too much, maybe a little bit too redundant, but also the only things that I really would put in my calendar at that time was on my phone. And it was like appointments, hair appointments, dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, days that I was gonna meet up with friends. If at that time we had planned it in advance. Nowadays, I feel like my friends and I do plan a lot of things in advance, but when you're like in your mid 20s to early 30s, like you're just calling your friend and like meeting up right there on the fly. So these days it's definitely a lot more planned, but I felt like the passion planner back then for me didn't really work because I didn't quite know what my goals were at that time. So I felt like, you know, a lot of my goals were kind of like the typical ones that one would have as they are going through college, graduate, going to, you know, find a job, get a job. It wasn't really something that I could, or I thought in my mind, I didn't really have it laid out in a certain kind of way. But now that I'm trying to build my brand on social media, etc., there is a goal. There is something that, you know, I can put down on paper and work towards. Maybe it's like setting up a Patreon, you know, planning out videos and eventually working with brands and things like that. And so in that sense, kind of future planning for myself, things that I want to get set up and have prepared as I am growing my presence on social media, I guess. I felt like those are things that a passion planner is something that could help me keep track of like what is going on with myself, especially once I, you know, someday transition into working on my own projects in the future. That's gonna keep me on track a little bit better, I felt. So that's the reason why I picked this up. I'm kind of like looking ahead, planning ahead, and wanting to get myself ready, wanting to have some tools to help myself along with that. So yeah, I think that something like this will be really helpful for me, especially when I get to see like this monthly view, and it kind of has like some things to do on the side, places to go, things to learn, people to see, and personal projects. I can kind of like, you know, write down highlights for myself on that. But this is actually the page that I was referring to that didn't work out for me the first time, because it is a weekly view that has like, it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and ends at 10:30 at night. And so back then for me, it probably would have been like work going across every single page, and then occasionally like dinner with friends or, you know, something like that. So nowadays I feel like right now, today and the past couple of days and for the next few days probably would have been helpful for me to plan out something like this, because I've taken a few days off from work, and I could have said, you know, on Tuesday when I was off, this is what you're gonna work in the morning, film this video, edit it in the afternoon, work on some social media, you know. And that's kind of how I envision using this in the future as I start to work with more brands, hopefully, or, you know, just work on things for myself. Because as someone who is trying to build a business, you also have to like get a tax license and, you know, be able to file your taxes. Hey, you need to, you know, get a contract together once you start working with brands, or, you know, whatever the case might be. Those are things that I'm still working on, because as a lot of you guys out there know, I still have a full-time job. Right now, obviously that is my priority, but at whatever point I'm ready to transition, I really think something like this will help to keep me on track and keep me organized throughout the day. You know, in the workplace today, I do have like an Outlook calendar like a lot of other people out there use, and, you know, it's full of meetings, things that I need to do, projects that I'm working on, like blocking off time for myself to do things. So this is what I would imagine. I think I need to like ease myself into that a little bit, and my Google Calendar is like full with personal life stuff and like reminders of things that I need to do, which is why I don't want to put social media project based stuff on my Google Calendar, and I'd maybe rather put it in here for now, as I'm kind of like, you know, organizing my mind. Because sometimes, and I think I've mentioned this before too, if, you know, you're great with using the computer, if that kind of stuff works for you, I am a fluent computer user, but sometimes, just depending on what's going on, I do need to write it down to remember and to like, you know, stay on track, commit to finishing something. And so I really think something like this will help me as well. Also, the last thing that I wanted to mention is I do also want to keep some of this fun. So in the workplace, like in these types of notebooks, I probably wouldn't do this because I don't know, when I'm at work and when I'm taking notebooks to the office and things like that, I like it to be very like clean. I write a lot in there. I write in different colors, like red to remind me to do something. But for some of these other notebooks, I think because, you know, there is some structure within it already and some kind of template on the pages, or if you are using a bullet journal and the pages are like totally blank, I think I need to make it a little bit fun for me, myself. And so I did pick up some stickers from the Passion Planner website as well. And also I have purchased stickers from some local artists and things like that. Not only stickers, but washi tape too. So, you know, just kind of like decorating my bullet journal or other notebooks with a little bit of color, because, you know, that in these, it's like my creative mind space goes in here. So I do feel like I need a little bit more color, whereas like this is very work-based and minimal. And at work, my creative mind isn't as like turned on, which, I mean, I think that's debatable if it should be or not. But, you know, truly when I'm creating, wanting to create content or like make videos, write captions and things like that, like that's when that creative part of my brain needs to be turned on. So I do think I need a little bit of color in there. I think it'll help me. All right, you guys, well, that's what I have for this video today. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are working on anything like this as well, what kind of tools you're using to keep yourself organized, kind of work that creative part of your brain, or other note-taking tips that you have for work, because I still gotta go to work. I still need to stay organized and get everything done. So, and I think it's also helpful for us to kind of share this, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of us are working towards something, whatever that may be, and we can all help each other out with that. I have more videos coming for you planned. I think some of them will be really fun. I won't give away any spoilers right now, but subscribe if you want to see those videos. Some may even include my dog and things that he likes, hint hint, as well as some other items that I'll be picking up very soon, reviews, comparisons, and things like that. So subscribe if you would like to see those. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.